Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessamine Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku.
That's right. Today is Thought Thursday. We're going to talk about how to pick your inner circle. I know that we all struggle with that in life because we are one mind and we are highly connected with everyone in our life. So I'm excited to talk with our guest today about that topic.
Love it.
Absolutely. We are hashtag community powered here at Focus TV, and I'm so excited to welcome to this show our very special guest today. Bianca, the spiritual owl, is here with us. Good morning, Bianca.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for sharing your time and your light with us today. I'm so excited to talk to you more in this show. And the creator, the founder of the Unicorn University. Hello, Ms. Jenna Phillips-Baylor. How are you?
Hello. Good morning. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
We have an owl and a unicorn. Jared, how do you even follow that up?
What can I be?
I mean,
A manicorn.
Exactly, exactly. You know, Jared is the founder of one of the second fastest growing Shopify accounts of last year. He is a serial entrepreneur, top 30 under 30 in Forbes. I mean, come on, look at this guy.
Ridiculous.
He may be no unicorn or an owl, but he's got something going on. So here on Good Morning La La Land, we'd like to know how you start your day. What's your morning routine like? Jared, let's start with you.
My morning routine is actually extremely important to me. If it's not like perfectly on point, it could actually translate into my entire day. So for me, I need to wake up before 6 a.m. If I wake up after 6 a.m., I kind of get anxieties that translate into my, everything that I do for the day. So getting up early, getting some kind of exercise in, drinking something green, like a green juice, and meditation is also a huge part of my daily routine, just to get myself centered, feel my body, and just like, think about the goals that I want to achieve for the day. So, I mean, morning routine is extremely important to me.
I understand that. I'm with you, buddy.
Setting that intention. Ms. Bianca, what's your morning routine? How do you start your day?
Well, I love the mornings. That's a really important part of the day for me as well. And I'm right on point there with Jared in saying that, that morning kind of structure for me is very important. I like to wake up. I have a very deep meditation practice that I begin the morning with, which is very, very sacred and very important to me. I believe that meditation is a wonderful way to begin the day, to connect with one's higher self, soul, and really gain clarity, perspective on the day ahead, and set intentions. And I then like to do a gratitude journal. So I'll write all the things I'm grateful for that I already have, and all the things that I'm grateful for that I would like to see happen in intention throughout the day as if they've already happened. So, and breakfast, super important. And I always like to go and spend time with the animals in the morning as well. We have rabbits, and there's a lovely horse that I like to go and visit in the morning before I begin my day, just to really connect with everything and nature and the world and within myself, so that I can spread love and light throughout the day.
And that's right down the street from where I grew up in Painted Cave on the hills of Santa Barbara. So
Painted Cave.
I know that
Very, very
that
lucky.
land has a lot of wisdom.
Wake up to the mountains and the ocean. I feel very, very blessed. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Well, today in my gratitude journal, I am grateful that you are here with us. I'm so excited to talk to you more here in this show. And Jenna, what about you? What's your morning routine like? How do you start your day?
Well, I absolutely know that every day for me is different. So I wake up and I kind of feel into the day. And what I always do for sure is either Pilates or I let my personal trainer kick my butt. So that always starts my day. But I also have a fountain on a timer outside my house, so I can hear it through the windows. And I let that really have me be grounded when I'm committed to creating. And water really is such a powerful element. It's all about abundance. So I always start my day with an abundance practice. And then I check in with my unicorns online. And I get ready for whatever the day has for me. So,
I love that her community are unicorns.
Right?
That is so fun. Well, thank you again for being here. We're looking forward to talk to you more later in the show.
I mean, it's so hilarious, the whole unicorn thing. Like, we have so many definitions of what that is. I don't even care what anyone's definition is. It's so cool. Like,
it is cool.
It's just so beyond, our traditional ways of doing business. So I think it's so awesome that women have gone, no, we're going to do it our way. We're going to be unicorns.
Absolutely.
We're not going to be CEOs. We're not going to be whatever. We're going to be unicorns.
I love that. It's creative.
It's very creative. It's very LaLa. And in fact, I had my first unicorn latte yesterday up at Butcher Baker Cappuccino Maker on Sunset Plaza. It was so fun because it really was magical. It was very colorful. It was part of the STS Blue denim shoot that I was doing yesterday. Super fun, very amusing. So stay tuned. Follow my Instagram at Jeslyn so you can see some of the behind the scenes pictures.
I love that. I'm so feeling Bianca today because I'm going up to Fiesta in Santa Barbara tomorrow.
What's that?
Fiesta is a big celebration. It's a celebration of the Spanish, in California. I don't know exactly how much to tell you. I should probably done
It's a great time, though.
It's a party, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
It starts, I think, on Wednesday to Sunday, and there's parades, and everyone makes these eggs, and they fill them up with confetti, and everyone breaks confetti over everyone's. So the whole street, State Street,
that sounds horrible.
State Street is like one big confetti. There's like bands. John Faraday played up there. I think it was Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of high school girlfriends. I'm just going to go up and get out of the city for a minute and say
It's
hi.
good to get away, come back. You appreciate it almost that much more.
I got to do it once a week.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fiesta and celebrating, today we are celebrating the birthday of Mr. Mark Teschner. He is a 9-time Emmy Award winning casting director for General Hospital. He's a vital part of our Focus TV community. He is in the recent issue of the Focus magazine, here gracing the cover. So happy birthday to you, Mark. We're sending you lots of love and light today, wishing you the best year yet.
Happy birthday, brother. Wow.
Right?
Love Mark.
I love that. So let's get into Thought Thursday today. So, one of the biggest questions and most often questions is, how do I deal with negative people? And so I thought that it'd be a great topic today, being Thought Thursday, because Thought Thursday is really about how our thinking affects our life, right? And the people that we're around, their thinking affects our life because there's one mind and we're connected to the people we're around. So I thought we would, talk about it up here. We can talk about it with the guests. But so most people ask, how do I handle negative people? And that's a personal question. Sometimes you can put boundaries. Sometimes you can whatever. Sometimes you have to have people out of your life, you know?
Run from them. That's what I do. You run.
It was really interesting, Erin, because we're very much in alignment here at Good Morning La La Land, and the topic of the day was a direct reflection of what my horoscope was.
Oh.
I mention my horoscopes often. I get them daily from the Daily and it really serves as an interesting guidance for what I'm going to be experiencing. And it said that I no longer have to perceive any negativity on my community's part as ill treatment, as a reflection of my self-worth. Key with who you're creating and letting into your inner circle and community,
Definitely,
right?
for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a huge part of the spiritual journey anyway, right? Because in the beginning, you always interpret what people say or think or do to you or about you as something that has to do with you, but 99% of the time it's something about them.
Totally.
So
right?
you have to be incredibly selective. So Erin, how do we do that?
Well, I think that of course, everyone's going to have different, advice or different principles or whatever. But I think for me, I was, kind of meditating on thinking about it. And I think number one is, you got to have your principles align with each other. I don't think you have to have everything in common or every value, everything, but general principles. So principles are different. It's going to, probably cause you to not be in your truth and in alignment with just in your zone and in your flow of life. Number two is, they've got to make you feel good. There's certain friends you just surround, you're like, I just feel good when I'm around this person. I can't explain it. And it doesn't mean you get rid of people that don't make you feel amazing, but maybe you focus on your inner circle, the ones that really, really make you feel good.
It's just like that song, I like me better when I'm with you.
Yeah, it's right?
I'm not going to sing it for you, but
Hear the rest of that, Jess. Come on.
And then number three, I actually think this is the most profound out of all of them. A mentor of mine said this years back, and it's so true, because he said that a true friend sees you and holds you in the light of your pure potential.
Wow.
So that's probably the most important thing, I think, when you're picking your inner circle is, do you feel that your friend believes in your dreams? Do they hold you for that potential? Or do they kind of do, covert, overt kind of a thing, making some smirky remark whenever you talk about your dreams. So it's the most important thing, because energetically we actually hold people and create people into existence. And so you want to surround yourself with people that truly are holding you for your highest.
That's so powerful, Erin. And we've talked about this a little bit before, that the happiest relationships consist of two people who see the best in each other no matter what. Well, the happiest social circle, or the most sort of profitable or productive social circle, would be those people that see the best in you, right? Especially when you can't see it in yourself. So I think that's a huge piece.
Right.
The other piece of this that I think is really important to highlight is emotional contagion. The reason your social circle matters so much is because things like obesity and smoking and happiness and anxiety, they're all we find that they occur more regularly inside of a social circle, right? So if one or two members of that social circle are highly anxious, you'll tend to be too if you're part of that circle.
The mirroring cells, they call it, right? We actually
mirror neurons,
mirror neurons, there it is,
I have this group of people that like rosé, and my God, it hasn't been. I'm just kidding.
For some reason, we all like rosé so much more, no? That's so funny.
No, well, we have an incredible opportunity here to have the opportunity to celebrate the community that we've created here at Good Morning La La Land. We had a great show yesterday. We had 5 amazing guests. Let's take a look at the rewind.
We have Lily Melger in the house. Look at you, gorgeous dress.
Thank you guys. I love seeing you guys again. You were so much fun on the red carpet at the Emmys.
And how old were you when you started this business?
9 years old, 2008.
Nice.
And then in the first year, first full year in 2009, we raked in $30,000 at 9 years old.
Happy. So, and I've been there. I've been rich. I've been poor. And honestly, I really think that being poor, you can find much more happiness in that moment. I know that sounds weird, but that's true.
The story of the EP kind of came about. So I was raped when I was 16 in London, which is where I'm from. And that's one of the main things I want to say it's one of the biggest reasons for the EP is I'm trying to inspire other survivors to speak out because it literally changed my life.
Yeah, thank y'all so much for doing what y'all do, like stepping out and this positivity and creating a new platform. Like it's amazing. Way to go, guys.
What a great show yesterday.
It was high energy. It was intense, not gonna lie.
It was.
Well, it was really great to have the conversation around Wealth Wednesday and what true wealth really means and whether or not money can buy you happiness. Very
I think it's an
interesting
ongoing inquiring conversation also, just because, well, actually today, that tweeted that Apple's the very first company in history to be worth $1 trillion.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
It's mind-blowing.
Right?
Full praise emojis around that. I mean, $1 trillion valuation is virtually unheard of.
Yeah.
They made history today. It's really interesting because our guest, Jen, is going to redefine what it is to be a millionaire.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
Later in the
redefining all the time. And also I'm curious to know, because I think about some of the times when I was happiest, and there were moments when you're young and don't have a lot of money, and so you're like, wow, what is that about? So there is just the ongoing conversation around it for sure. But I love finding our inner circle, and I just want to acknowledge you guys and just say that you guys are a great inner circle. You guys both bring me, you guys really do, you totally bring me up. These shows challenged me in ways that are really great, and just going to celebrate my inner circle today, right?
It's an incredible inner circle. I'm so excited too, in mentioning community, that I am part of the Collectin community. It is a great new accessory app. If you download it with the invite code Jeslyn, my name, you too can curate your own boutique, right? And it's really been amazing because it's a female-owned company, and the women in this have really embraced me. They've helped me. They've lifted me up. They've held me accountable, and they've accessorized me all the best ways. I just received my tiny boutique in a box, and it's 12 items I get to keep for the month, and then return at no cost. So it's incredible because it's all rewards, no risk.
Right, and since we're doing shout outs, I want to give a shout out to one of my greatest communities, Boss Babe, Natalie Danielle and Nick Pigeon. I love you guys. You guys are an incredibly online community also.
Love it.
Yep.
I have no shout outs.
Focus TV!
Focus TV.
Stay tuned, you guys. We're going to be right back.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Packrat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are live with Ms. Bianca, the Spiritual Owl, today on Thought Thursday. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca.
Thank you so much for having me.
So wonderful to meet you.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here with you all. I feel very, very blessed to have this opportunity. Thank you.
I feel wiser just being in your presence. How is that possible?
She is a world-renowned intuitive mindfulness expert, meditation expert. Where did this journey begin for you, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
Well, no, absolutely, yeah. It's generational. My mother, who is here, Mama Owl, today, is a very gifted medium. She doesn't practice, she never has. But I always, you know, from a very young age, I had an affinity with animals. I was very intuitive. I had a connection to spirit. And I just kind of, I always saw the world in a very different way to a lot of other people. And then as I sort of got older, I think those gifts sort of expanded and I was able to learn how to sort of utilize them more. And then when I was 21, I had a very serious and devastating accident and I was left handicapped for about 10 to 15 years. Using a wheelchair, I had crutches, I had a mobility scooter that I used to razz around on, and named and cried actually when I had to sell, and I was even bedridden for a period of time, needing round-the-clock care. And despite being told by many people that that was the journey that I was going to have to take, I guess that intuitive knowing inside knew that there was so much more ahead of me that I wanted to do and knew was possible. And then I had, a few years ago, I had a very profound healing experience which led me to follow my true spiritual calling to where I am now.
To the spiritual owl.
To the spiritual owl.
What is the spiritual owl?
Well, I think the spiritual owl is many things to many different people. But I think the essence of the spiritual owl is definitely a message of love and compassion and peace and empathy and understanding and kindness.
We would love to clone you because we want more of that in the world.
Yes.
What is that, or was at, the very core essence of your healing?
A lot of people ask me that question, and I'm always very mindful to my master. Well, I call her my master. She'd probably have grievance with me saying that, with my one lady now who's one of the most profound healers in the world and a very dear friend of mine. We worked in many ways together with energy, very much with the Earth's energy. I think that's a very sacred experience, and one that I would rather leave her to speak about probably than me. But it involved many different elements, and all ones that I incorporate into a discipline of practice now in my daily way of being. And you know, it's really interesting because people often, you hear the word spirituality so much, and people will refer to what their definition of spiritual is. My definition of spirituality really is, and I believe that it translates through most practices, is, as I just said, love, compassion, peace, kindness, empathy, non-judgment. Incorporates all of those things and integrating those into a daily practice. My daily principles: live, eat, sleep, breathe, living that way.
I love that on your website it said to let the gift of kindness
absolutely
be your daily practice.
I think that if we look at the world today and everything that's happening on both the planetary and humanitarian level, I think that the one thing the world needs more than anything right now is kindness. And I think that it's something that we can incorporate into every aspect of our lives on a daily basis.
Including being kind to ourselves,
including
right?
being kind to ourselves, including, you know, I very much believe in a oneness with all. I don't believe in any separation between the earth, between the animals, between us. I believe that we are all one. And that gives great perspective. And I think if you're able to have that perspective, you're able to have compassion for each of those things. And you see the world in a very, very different way. But yes, kindness is something that we need to give to ourselves and something that we need to implement with others.
Right. So question for you, because obviously you're an intuitive.
Yes.
You're very in tune and probably feel a lot of energies everywhere.
I do.
So, you know, not everybody is as evolved as you
Absolutely.
could you. So how do you deal with having people come into your life as friends, like the topic of today? Really, how do you pick your inner circle? Because especially for someone like you, and I've experienced that where we're trying to get our, you know, stay in that highest consciousness, stay as pure as possible, and you can't help when you're in communication or in a friendship, their consciousness mingles with yours. How do you deal with picking the people in your life?
Well, I think that a lot of mindfulness comes into play with that. I think you just, you said, you know, obviously my evolution spiritually has been the journey that it has, but I always have to be mindful that others on their journeys, we all have journeys to take. Very wise old teaching will tell you that we're all teachers and we're all students.
Of course.
You know, I very much believe in that. So I think when you come into interact with people, you have to be, sorry, I keep going back to these kind of principles of non-judgment, of speaking one's truth and all of those ways of being. I never judge anybody. I always just listen to what people have to say and are very mindful, as I said, of their journeys. I think with my inner circle of people, I'm very aware of the impact that other people's energies can have on you. And I think it's really important that you're able to listen and have understanding, but that you don't always own that energy. You know, you have to very much keep people will talk about kind of boundaries between yourself and others and how you manage that. You know, I work a lot with people on that in my practice, about sort of being able to be present with people and listen and understand and part of that journey, but not own that journey.
But that's almost like when you're in your counseling. That's different than having people that are really in your inner circle.
In a sense of my friends and people who I journey with. I would say that I journey with those people in exactly the same way. Okay. I think, as you said, the love for yourself is the highest love of all. A very wise teaching that I once had was if something is no longer serving your higher purpose, disengage. Obviously, when it's loved ones that are around us, we can't do that, but we can disengage from certain behavioural patterns or the certain ways if people are engaging in ways that we aren't kind of believing is for one's higher self, then we can disengage from that but still retain friendship. And again, it comes back to a practice of mindfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you want to vote them off the island sometimes.
Well, there may be people that come into your life that you really feel that you're no longer able to journey with. And the other thing is, I don't place any more value or any less value. Sometimes people come in for a day or a week or a month and a year.
A reason, a season, or a life.
Yeah, and the impact can be just as great if you meet somebody. You know, you often hear people say that they had an encounter with somebody and it changed their life in a day. It doesn't necessarily mean that those people are always going to kind of journey with us. It means that they've been brought in for that particular time. There's no greater or less
value. It's just about the journey, but then sometimes you have longer relationships with people over longer periods of time.
You've brought up the principle of mindfulness. How
Yes.
would you define mindfulness?
Well, again, I think that there'll be many different explanations for what mindfulness is, and especially in the modern day that we're living in.
But you, as Bianca, the spiritual owl,
what I think there is?
Yeah.
Well, again, I go back to those core values. I think mindfulness is about, at every moment in one's life, being mindful about the actions that you're displaying, the way that you're choosing to journey, whether it's in business, whether it's in friendship, whether it's in relationships. Is that of the greater good? Is that from a place of love and kindness and compassion and all of those kind of elements?
How would a person flip that switch, though? Because I think so many times people assume that they're doing something for the greater good, when really they're acting out of fear, not out of love.
That's a very good question. I mean, I believe that there are daily practices that one can start to journey with. We talked about meditation earlier on. I think that's a wonderful way to really quiet and still one's mind. We live in such a busy world where there's such an information overload, and also there's a lot of information coming at us that isn't our own. You know, it's kind of things that we've been told we should do or shouldn't do, or this is what this is, or this is what this is. And the only way that we're able to really connect with our truth, I call it our own GPS, our own satellite navigation system, is really to quiet and still that mind. And when we do that, that's why wise masters say if you can still your mind for 1 second, that's enlightenment, because then we connect with our truth. And when we're connected with our truth, then that gives us the ability to be able to have clarity. So if you're making decisions, you want them to be clear.
That's true. A lot of times, though, I've prayed and asked for clarity, and I didn't like the clarity I got. Let's be honest. And also, there's this thing where I'm trying to understand whether I'm making an assumption because it's what I want, or it's really what my intuition is guiding me to.
Well, that's really interesting, because I do something called the head-heart exercise with people, where I'll ask them. Well, we could do it now if you
Let's
guys
do it.
are open to it. Okay, so your gut and intuition, is it something that you feel, or is it something you think?
Feel.
You feel. And where do you feel? Oh, Jasmine?
I suppose the correct answer is feel, but I don't always associate that.
Well, and this is my point about what I'm about to share. So, because people often have conflict. Am I thinking? Am I feeling? I'm not sure, because the kind of one will happen and then this will jump in.
Yeah.
The thought. So let's go with the fact that it's something we feel, and where do we feel it?
In our solar plexus.
Okay, yeah, people will normally say sort of here, your gut, solar plexus.
What is a solar plex?
Your heart.
It's kind of between, it's kind of like where your
diaphragm.
Yeah, like
this is your emotional core center.
You know what? I never knew that. I used to think I had pancreatitis. And
Turns out it was intuition.
I ended up in the emergency room.
She's a comedian.
She's
She's
going
out.
No, because it hurts so badly.
Well, we have to separate the physical from the spiritual. I'm talking about energy here. So that may be something physical. That may be something physical. Always deal with things that you need to.
Okay.
Physical.
I'd say it's a rule.
That's just a little gas.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is a little bit different. No, they told me it was stress.
Yeah, it's a general rule. I would imagine that intuition shouldn't hurt.
Oh,
Correct?
okay.
Or am I wrong?
But I think there might be
Does it
something
hurt?
there when something's blocked, then it might come out as a pain.
Well,
right?
yeah, I
So,
mean, I'm a huge believer that the emotional manifests as the physical as well. So that's a whole other probably. There's a whole other question.
So right here
gut
in my
intuition.
gut intuition, my
Or
solar
your heart
plex.
chakra. People will say that they normally feel
In between those
yeah.
two.
That's why
Yeah.
sometimes my chest feels so heavy.
Well, that could be for many reasons, my lovely.
My heart chakra.
Many reasons. So, okay, and our thoughts, are they something we think or feel?
They just are.
Think.
And remember, this is how I see things. So I believe our thoughts are something that we think. When does your gut and intuition ever let you down?
Never.
Never. When do your thoughts let you down?
All the time.
Every thought is a lie. on some level.
Never.
You don't think your thoughts ever let you down?
Never. They've only had me grow.
Okay. So normally the answer that I will receive is that people's thoughts very often will not be as consistently right as their gut and intuition. And then when I ask people how many decisions a day they make from their gut and intuition, how many decisions do you make from your gut and intuition?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Don't know. I try to make as many as possible.
Okay,
But I don't track
that's
it.
fine.
Yeah.
And how many do you make from your thoughts?
Too many.
So the theory of the way I see this is people will normally say to me that their gut and intuition never lets them down. Their thoughts let them down frequently. but they choose to listen to their thoughts over their gut and intuition. If you give any scenario, it would be like going to a car dealership and somebody saying, you know, we've got the car, it's never going to break down, it's going to last you for life, it's going to be fantastic. We've got this other car, as soon as you drive it off the forecourt, it's going to just stop. And you go, I'll take that one. And I believe it's really because we've kind of lost connection with here. When we're very young, sort of, you know, if you watch children play, they're very, they're not thinking about where somebody's from or what they do or what their net worth is. They're just kind of very much in the moment. And as they get older, you get, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, this is what failure is, this is what success is, this is what this is what this is. And very often our minds become so busy with that we lose connection with here, which, as I said, is what I believe our truth and our own GPS is, which is what you guys said to me, you know, this never lets me down. So meditation is a great way to kind of still and quiet and then be able to connect with here. And that's how you're able to differentiate what the two is. And I'll work with people where I'll have them kind of journal and be very conscious about decisions that they're making from here, because then it becomes a practice, you know, it's a daily practice, and what decisions they're making from here and which outcome serves them best. Usually it'll be the one that comes from here, and then they'll begin to make more decisions and live more of a life from here, from truth.
Love that. Yeah. You're working on a new meditation series,
I
correct?
am.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Very, very excited. Yeah, that's been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's been a real great passion of mine. Meditation's been such a big part of my journey. When I first started my very in-depth, you know, we talked about my healing process, you know, my lady that I was working with, she'd just have me sit for a period of time. She'd just say, go away and sit for 20 minutes with nothing. And it was really amazing, you know, when you ask yourself, how often do you actually sit when you're not eating, reading, speaking, on technology, doing something, thinking about something, and you just actually sit with yourself? Most people will say that's, oh, I don't know, when was the last time you guys just
Well, you're talking to two big meditators over here, so very different.
I'm trying to do that right now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, but for most people, it's not something that they kind of will be very present with. So, and I also wanted to, you know, my idea is you should be able to meditate in the middle of Times Square. There are many wonderful different kinds of meditations out there, but very often I think those moments when people need to make that connection and need to clarity is a lot of times when people are, you know, if people are in very busy environments or they're just about to step into situations where they really need to kind of have that clarity. I think people should be able to meditate anywhere. So I wanted to really devise a meditation series that gave people that ability to just first of all learn how to meditate without anything, just to get used to sitting with themselves. And then we've developed a very beautiful series of guided meditations. And I'm very lucky I got to work with an incredible award-winning composer, Adam Zelkind, and he's scored the whole music, which is very different. We've got something very unique to offer. And yeah, we're very, very excited about it. The meditations are all going to have different themes. We've taken some of those out already and done sort of live meditations, and they've been hugely received. The first one we're going to be doing is an aura and chakra clearing meditation, which is focused on working with the chakras to clear issues around sort of various areas of one's life that one may be experiencing blocks or problems in.
I'd like to put those chakra cords.
Yes.
Well, where can people find you?
People can find me at my website, which is www.thespiritualowl.com, and Instagram at The Spiritual Owl with love, and Facebook The Spiritual Owl.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for bringing your consciousness with us.
Thank you very much. And I have a little gift for all of you here that I wanted to bring. There is a little crystal here.
Oh, wow.
I have selenite for you, my lovely.
Thank you so much. Oh,
there is
so beautiful.
Copper for you, my love. And amethyst.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
So much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone, and this is Jasmine Moyer, and we're at Focus TV Network, and we are reporting to you what happened this week in Focus. Last week on the hashtag Harry and Kelly Show, we had
Ryan Kendrick.
Yes. On the LA Home Show, we featured
a very special guest with her own furniture company, Ms. Farrah Abraham.
On Purpose with Brittany Zonker, we had
Acro Yoga with Andrew Seeley, Cupping with Dr. Lee, and also Eric Bigger.
Speaking of Andrew Seeley, he was on Good Morning LaLaLand.
He did, and I tried Acro Yoga here on set for the very first time.
I think we have some footage of that.
Oh God.
Speaking of Good Morning LaLaLand, we had a week full of guests who was on that show.
We had a ton of special guests. I'm so excited to announce we had Farrah Abraham on the show. She brought her daughter, Sophia.
So cute.
We also featured JJ Jurgens, the creator of Tom Girl TV, as well as James Arthur Ray. We also had a great demonstration by Andrew Hernandez, who is a special instructor for Strong by Zumba. And then I also had the incredible honor to go on location to the Gibson showroom for the final broadcast from their stage.
Speaking of the Gibson event, you were at a lot of events last week.
I was. We were also celebrating Concern Foundation's 44th annual block party at the Paramount Backlot. And if you can't tell, we have a lot of fun here. Let's take a look.
COO and founder of Building Construction Group, Scott Harris.
Sorry, it's co-founder.
Oh, fuck me, Natalie. And co-founder of the Building Group, Scott Harris.
Thank you, Building Construction Group.
Oh shit, let's do it again.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
God.
I'll stop.
Why are you making it so complicated? She has it going in and out and in her shirt again.
This is so hard. What else do I need to do?
Andy, can we see the monitor? We don't know. I don't know what my hair looks like. I have to. It's not fair. The heavyweight, the UFC middleweight. I totally fucked that up. Hang on a second.
I wish my boobs looked like yours. Where are they?
On last week's episode of #Harry and Kelly, we had.
Ryan Kendrick.
Yeah.
I almost called him Kendrick Lamar.
Why are we not taking like outtakes?
Yeah, why aren't we
This is
taking
so
this?
funny.
Thank you all so much for the laughs and being community powered. That was This Week in Focus. Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome to the show Jared Getz. He is a famed e-commerce entrepreneur and the founder of the second fastest growing shop on Shopify. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on here.
How are you, Jared? You've been named one of the top entrepreneurs under 30 years old by Forbes magazine, Entrepreneur magazine. Wow, that's pretty good.
What?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
How does that happen?
It happens with a lot of, trying a lot of different things. People see the success. They see the articles about like what's been good, but there's a lot of bad behind it. And it took, 8 years of trying different businesses to have my first win. And then I like to talk about like momentum. After you have one win, you have to kind of keep rolling with it.
Well,
and expanding.
You made your first million at 21, so you've been in the business since you were like 11, or what?
No, actually, I started. I threw concerts while I was in college, and I was booking big artists, and we were trying to figure out how to take the concerts to the next level. We realized we were paying all these artists all this money, so we created our own show. It was like a circus. World's largest foam party with like circus acts, and it kind of viral back then, and we did shows at like 25 different campuses. But at 22, I lost all my money, and I got sued and kind of hit rock bottom. But it was a good experience.
So how did you pivot? How did you pivot out of that? You failed fast, you rose again. What was the catalyst for that change?
It was really it was pretty tough because like growing up, I didn't come from a family of entrepreneurs or people who were successful. So like I kind of got to the point where I believed it was possible when I was 21. I was doing so well, but then when I crashed and burned at 22, I like lost those beliefs and I lost that confidence, and I was at a low point. And I got sued for a lot of money, and I couldn't even afford a lawyer. I was at a really low point. And I got a really good opportunity to work with a startup company that raised a bunch of money, and I got equity in the company, and I jumped in all on board, and I ended up making an exit when I was 24, which kind of propelled me back into the entrepreneurial space.
Wow. One of the most common denominators from the successful entrepreneurs we have interviewed is meditation. Every single one of them meditates in the morning. How has that been a vital part of your success?
I think meditation gives me personally like a consistency. Like some mornings I'll wake up, my mind will be racing, and I'll feel anxious, and I'll feel like I'm behind on the day. Some mornings I'll feel wake up feeling great. But if I meditate, I always kind of afterwards, I always feel centered. Like I feel calmer, my heartbeat is a little slower, and I had thought of and envisioned all the things I want to do for the day. And it's really important to have that good energy like going into your day.
So is there like an entrepreneur mantra? Because I'm in entrepreneur night school, and I'm learning the business of startups and the race. So what do I need to do to set my intention for success?
I like to say like I focus way more on the person you need to be rather than the things you need to do. and then you'll naturally do the things you need to do to get there. But so many people focus on like, I need to do this, I need to do that, and they lose track of who they need to be, and then they go into these situations and they're not the best version of themselves.
Right. So speaking of the topic of the day, picking your inner circle, so important as an entrepreneur. How do you do that, and what would you recommend for people?
Yeah, that's extremely important to me. I actually kind of, as a visual, I break it down into like 3 sectors. There's like 3 levels of friends. First of all, you need to identify who do you want to be and what do you want to accomplish, and those are the people you want to surround yourself with, of course. But you know, of course, you're growing up with friends. You have people that love you, like from back home, and they may not be doing the things you want to do, right? Like I'm sure a lot of people you grew up with aren't doing what you want to do. So, you know, how much attention do you give them? What do you do? Like, so for me, I like to, you know, stay in touch, wish them a happy birthday, you know, spend some time. Not a lot of my energy, because you feed off of people's energy. So that's kind of like, you know, your friends from back home and like growing up with. And then you have your friends that you spend a lot of time with, people who you're in your daily life every day. Who you spend a lot of your time with, who are doing what you want to be doing or kind of at your level. And then you have people who are kind of ahead of you in life, doing the thing, like accomplishing way more than you. They're spiritually, you know, more advanced than you. They have, you know, maybe more of an abundance of money than you. And those are people that you want to actually try to be friends with more. You go out of your way to reach out and say what's going on, or, you know, you travel to them and you try to bring those into your inner circle. And as you build up kind of a stronger group of friends, like you bring yourself up as well.
Love that.
Love that, absolutely. What would you say have been the most critical lessons that you've learned in both sort of choosing a team, but also in terms of building a business?
Yeah, actually we've grown this year from like 3 employees to 15 employees in the last 6 months. And like one thing I always talk about is how it's really important to hire people not based on their skills, but based on their mindset and like who they are as a person.
The character.
Right.
Their character and their energy. So we hire and like bring people on our team who are good people, because they go to learn the skills, but you can't really teach people to be the, you know, good people that you want to be around.
You can't really teach someone to be happy. They kind of come in that way, like they're kind of energetically there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if I meet someone and they want to come work for our team and they're positive and they have you know, for example, one person who came on our team about 3 or 4 months ago, he was driving from Oregon all the way to Florida, long drive. He got the flu on his drive, a 6-day long drive.
No.
Most people would be all bummed about it and upset and come in like at a low level, but he spun it around and made it into a positive because he was driving with his parents. He was like, I get to spend 3 more days with my parents. You know, we stayed at bed and breakfast. It was nice. And I was like, man, he's gonna be.
He's my team.
I just love that, and you're absolutely right. I think a lot of companies overlook that. You know, really the top 3 character traits, which you just described, your personality traits, to vet for when you're hiring is conscientiousness, optimism, and emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, I think, is an extremely important key that you just said there. So many people don't even realize how, like, I think emotional intelligence is more important than actual intelligence.
It is actually, scientifically, that's actually true. That for the most part, EQ leads to success in ways that IQ doesn't.
Right, yeah. It's important to keep yourself in the right mindset, because like you may have like an important phone call or a meeting that you didn't expect, and if you're not like an emotionally intelligent person, you're not going to be consistently happy. So you know, when you go into these encounters, if you're not like the best version of yourself, you're not going to capitalize on those encounters.
It's so true, and everything happens through people, right? So if you can't work with people well, the best technology, it's going to fail.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do like anything on your own. You need people.
That's why I've invested highly in social capital. So what's next for you, Jared?
Well, I had a big win last year with the 2nd fastest growing Shopify store.
Huge win.
That led to a lot of other stuff. You know, of course, like a lot of DMs came my way, a lot of articles
We're all
and
about
stuff.
the DMs.
From there, people were asking me like, how do you do this? How do you do that? So I built a course, and we have about 2,500 students now. We're building technology and applications for them to use on their e-commerce stores. So we are, you know, we're trying to, you know, long story short, we're trying to make drop shipping, the business model, easier for people and like connecting businesses with stores. We're working on that, and then I also own an agency, so we're working with celebrities and influencers to build, you know, top-down businesses. They have followers, they want to monetize it. We're just kind of building those 2 pillars of our business.
Nice. Well, you're a total inspiration, and love that you have a practice, also a spiritual practice, so wonderful, and a pleasure to meet you. Where can people find you?
They can go to my website, jaredgetz.com. There's a bunch more information on there. If they're interested in the course, there's a place you can apply. And if they want to get in contact, on Instagram, at Jared Gets What He Wants. That's right.
Yeah. If you didn't get that, it's at Jared Gets What He Wants.
Yeah. Love
Slide
that.
into those DMs and stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
For you, in this moment, what feels most true to you?
The three of you. Really grounded and present and like honored to be sitting with other like-minded individuals. I think that it's so important with everything that's going on in the world that this is our now, that this is hopefully the future. And, you know, because of the experience with certain things on TV in the past, it's heartbreaking. And it's heartbreaking to watch, and it's heartbreaking to see other people go through it. And people out there watching it don't really understand what it does to your psyche and to your heart. It's just tragic. And so I think what you guys are doing here is absolutely just a gift.
This is my sanity.
I can see that.
There's so much insanity in my life and uncertainty. This is my truth.
I have a hard time saying no to. One is a boy in a band, and the second is a Snickers bar. So I wrote a song about both.
I hear you, sister.
Chasing you down like an ice cream truck. Every damn time that my phone lights up, I'll be salivating at the sound of what's up. Yo, what's up? Boy, you're delicious. It's too bad you ain't nutritious. When you say my name, it's like candy. When you kiss my lips, it's like candy. You're no good for me, you're like candy. You're like candy, hey.
Oh, thank you guys.
Love addiction. I hear it. Wow.
Do you guys want to be my backup singer?
I was like, okay, guys, come on. We need to get vulnerable here.
Totally. I think it's okay to pepper it in, and I love beautiful content, and I've always been a fan of putting out really quality content, but at the same time, I think that it's really important for my industry to tell their story. The mission has definitely been to inspire women to be the best version of themselves and kind of be an example and a role model for a lot of girls that are reading my blog. But what's been the biggest challenge for you in doing this, in building this business? Ooh, the biggest challenge, I think, is how consistent you really have to be. So what I've had to do is learn that I'm like a cell phone. I have 100% charge and it goes down to 1%. And when it's down there, I need to step back, recharge. The consistency of creating content, it can be a lot, but I think I love it. And
welcome back to Good Morning La La. On Thought Thursday, we have this extraordinary woman. I'm so glad you're here. Jenna Phillips Ballard, who is the founder of Unicorn University, coach, speaker, and facilitator. Good morning, Sunshine.
Well, good morning to you. Thank you for having me here.
You're such a unicorn. Tell us what a unicorn means to you.
Well, it's not so literal. So what it means to be a unicorn is to be confident and radical in your self-expression. I mean, I don't blend. So I give not only other women permission to also be outrageous and be free and be confident, but also to know that they get to be safe in that. So I used to wear clothes that would mute my presence because I thought that I needed to dim my light. And that created a lot of breakdowns in my life. And so I realized that it really was my purpose to stand in my confidence and know that I can be outrageous and over the top and extra AF. And then, of course, in turn, I would give...
What's AF?
No, I don't know. It's censored. That's censored.
Okay.
Yeah, extra. So
that's for the after show.
Yeah.
Extra.
I'll explain that.
Jenna, I'm very curious because what was the moment where you decided, you know, I'm no longer going to dim my light. I'm going to be the unicorn I was born to be?
Well, to be totally honest, I went to Burning Man 2 years ago for my first time, and I was dressed up like a unicorn the entire week. And I felt so much joy and freedom and playfulness and fun. And I went with really good friends of mine, Preston Smiles, Alexi Panos,
big shout out,
brother and sister. And it was a really special time for me to play with play. Because as a businesswoman, as a co-husband, I have an emotional intelligence center in San Diego, so there's a lot of professionalism and blazers and pencil skirts, and I felt so at home in my body. And I thought, gosh, what would it look like if I brought this to the event space? What would it look like if I was outrageous in the real world outside of this space called Burning Man? And I got this download, Unicorn University, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to teach women how to be confident and abundant and courageous.
So tell us what the actual Unicorn University, it's in person and online, and what does it look like?
Well, there will be an in-person live event in the next like 6 months, so that's in process right now, which is very exciting. But right now it's all online, and that's my inner tribe where I get to coach women directly. But it's also not for everyone. So I created a 6-week course that women get to experience first. And it's really a sifting process, and I stand for women to be awesome and courageous, and also really excited when other women are shining and rising and elevating and being successful. So I really got clear I wanted to build a tribe that I never had when I was growing up. So that's really important to me. And I have a vision of womankind just being in synergy and in harmony and not trying to outdo each other, and just being so excited when we see other successful women creating magic.
It's so important that the competition, you know, women, we've tended to do that, and I know that all women have experienced that at some point in time in our lives, and it's not fun. So the topic today, how do you pick your inner circle? Obviously you're mastering this, so tell us, how do you pick your inner circle?
I'm really, what's important to me, the people that are close to me in my life and in my inner circle are women who live in integrity, who do what they say they're going to do, who are truly living in abundance, so an abundant mindset, that they believe in miracles and they believe in magic. And really the women that I am in relationship with in my tribe are doctors, they are authors, they're public speakers, they're creating so much greatness in the world, and you know, those are people that I resonate with. That's, I mean, we're all at the same vibration, and so when we align forces and create together, then nothing can stand in our way.
Who have been some of the most inspiring unicorns in your own life?
Huge shout out to Alexi Panos. Alexi Panos, girl, I love you. She's been such a huge stand for me to shine. I remember years ago when I was I was a celebrity fitness trainer for 10 years, very successful in Los Angeles, and I felt really called to focus my energy on emotional intelligence, and really studied emotional intelligence for the last 7 years of my life, and felt called to create a movement around that and stand for people. I love to work with bigger groups of people, and so as I was transitioning from trainer to coach and messenger online, my overall message was, you can do anything, and you get to love yourself and know that you get to be courageous. I mean, that's never really changed, just the package has looked very different. And as I was in that transition, she said, okay, well, I'm gonna come over and film you, I'll teach you how to edit your videos. And I remember being in this experience of her being so generous with her time, and she was so committed to support me. And I got really vulnerable with her, and I said, you know, I'm really having a hard time with this, because I'm not used to women wanting me to shine like this. And she's like, yeah, that's it. I just want to see you shine. And you're worthy, you have an amazing message, and I want to see you impact millions of people. Wow. And so
how do you accept that, though?
It's a practice, yeah. And thank you for asking that question. I think because it's an important discussion. I think a lot of women, our most challenging thing to do is to receive, but we're anatomically designed to receive. It really is actually very natural to receive as a woman. And today's modern woman is a goal crusher, a dream chaser, like, you know, a boss babe, and there's a lot of masculine energy in that. And that was me as a trainer, and that worked for me in my training position. But I realized that wasn't creating harmony in my relationships. So I discovered that's actually my strength, my feminine grace, and really learning to balance both. So that's been a big thing for me, is knowing that I'm worthy and practicing it, because it even comes up. It's every day I have worthiness conversations, and I think that when leaders say, I never have a negative thought, or I never have a fear or a limiting belief, I think that they're not being authentic. I think that every human being has some kind of a self-doubt, or some kind of a limiting belief, or some kind of a fear that more money won't come, or some kind of a fear that they're never gonna get their big break. And so I teach women how to break through those conversations, so that that's their new standard, that the fears will come, the self-doubt will come, the limiting beliefs will come, but what is your commitment to your mission is more important and louder than those conversations.
Right. And I love this, just love it. And what would you say is like one of your favorite practices for learning to receive, for sort of learning to set your own self-love?
Well, I've created a sequence and series of mantras that I have recorded. I've created videos. They're awesome, and so I've created that's available in Unleash Your Inner Unicorn, which is my 6-week course. And so I've broken through all this stuff with mantras, and so I have all this amazing knowledge and wisdom that I want to share with everybody. And for me to not share it would be selfish of me. So I really got clear what was available for me by sharing and paying it forward was to transform womankind and therefore the planet.
How can people find and work with you?
Well, I'm the only Jenna Phillips Ballard in the world, literally. So I'm a unicorn, literally. So you can find me on Facebook, Jenna Phillips Ballard, and also on Instagram. You can also go to my website, Jenna Phillips Ballard, or unicornuniversity.com.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for all your work. And you're just so gorgeous. I love your outfit.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
We're talking about choosing your inner circle today, and it's been a fantastic conversation. And the question of the day essentially has been, how do you choose your inner circle? Is there a particular trait or quality that you most look for? So we'll start with you.
You know, people, like I said before, you know, people who have done or are doing what I want to be doing and you know, have the qualities and traits of somebody that I want to be like, are people that I want to surround myself with, because you feed off people's energy. So
I love that. Is there one trait that you most want to develop in yourself?
I mean, a consistency and a confidence. I guess maybe that's two traits, but
yeah, it works.
Yeah, two traits.
Let that slide. That's awesome. Yeah. What about you, Spiritual?
Well, definitely a trait would be to come at everything from a place of love and kindness. And if one isn't able to do that, have the willing to be able to learn that is a way to bring much peace to yourself and to others. So that would be the trait that I definitely would look for in my inner circle.
And I want to speak into kind of what you were talking about, ways of being earlier, and I'm big on that. When I am creating a tribe or allowing people into my tribe, it's all about like who they be. I really pay attention to that, because there's a lot of people who are doing great things, but they're not living in integrity. They're not compassionate. They're not coming from love. So compassion, love, integrity, and commitment to vision.
Perfect.
So beautifully said. Thank you all for being here, for
Thank
being
you.
part of my inner circle. We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. And you can listen to all of these interviews as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Please like, share, and comment. Have a wonderful Thought Thursday.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.